Hey everybody, it's Dating with Katy, and this is a matchmaker's guide to love and life with your favorite matchmaker, Katy Clark. I am keeping it real for you. Today I'm flying solo, and we are going to be talking about how to snag a rich guy. And now this is not because this is all I focus on. I've got tons of podcasts on everything else besides rich guys. And I have a podcast on how to know if a woman is a gold digger, because there's plenty of them out there. I see them, I work with them. That's why I don't set my clients up with them. And if you want to be a client, go ahead and click the work with me button down below. If you want to get in the database and meet my high net worth clients, then you need to do the same as well. Now, on the brink of this massive wedding from, we all know, Amazon owner Bezos, Jeff Bezos, and Lauren Sanchez. Look, I gotta be honest, I asked my followers, are you even interested in this wedding? Are you paying attention? And 17% said they cared. The rest of y'all could care less. And I think that's kind of how most of the world felt, aside from those that were complaining about them shutting down Venice. Look, at the end of the day, at least people are making money. When rich people spend money, it's good for everybody. So I'm kind of a fan of rich people spending money. Now, if I was in Venice and I couldn't go to, was it Marty's bar? There's like a specific bar. I don't even like this bar. To be honest, it's like the spot to go to, but it's just like a boring bar. It's right on the water, but it's no even windows to the water. Look, if I couldn't go in there, you know where I'd go to get a drink is the St. Regis or over to the Belmont. I'm just stating there's other places to go in Venice. You don't have to hang out where they hang out. So even though, it's not necessarily something a lot of my followers care about. I mean, I did care about what people wore, which I was not impressed, by the way. And I have to say, Ivanka Trump wore a dress to one of the parties. She looked like a cake. Now, look, I think she's very stylish, but the whole dress looked like it had fondant flowers on it. Not my favorite thing. But, and I didn't like Lauren's dress either, I'll be honest. It was a little overly lacy, but good for Venice, so I feel like it fit it. I just don't like any dresses where women have those cups. It looks like you're wearing a bra outside. But hey, I think she rocked it. I think every woman's got her style. A for effort for her. It's her wedding, girl. You do it your way. So here's the thing, though. It made us matchmakers. Now I work for Sync Matchmaking. There's about 7 of us, 8 of us matchmakers worldwide. We're in a group chat, and we brought up the truth is, how did she, a mid 50-year-old woman with 2 baby daddies, 3 kids, get this guy? Now, if you've seen, she has actually helped him change for the better. He's gotten more healthy. He looks a little bit better. He's a little bit more styled. In the past, he was not that guy. But how did this woman bag the guy, right? So today's podcast is how to snag a rich guy. Like, how did Sanchez do it? Because if you've noticed, like, she's beautiful. There's a lot of beautiful women out there. I have a database full of thousands of beautiful women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Women are looking good. Okay, so men, you need to keep it up. And can I just apologize for anybody watching this? I've got this new Zoom, updated it, and now it's got this thing where it follows my face around, so I'm just pre-apologizing for that. But a lot of you ladies will say, well, don't all men want younger women? Don't rich guys want younger women? Don't older men want younger women? No. We matchmakers tell you this all the time. So we have been chatting. How is it that this woman, who I have seen photos, she has cellulite, she has chunky knees. Like, yeah, she's good looking in some photos, but I've seen some bright light photos that were not her best. Her face is very much done. We're going to talk about that at the very end, but how did she get him? How did she get the guy? So stick around. I'm going to give you 5 ways that you can get a rich guy. But I want to do 2 things before we even start. And these are the 2 points I want to make. Number 1 is Bezos' ex-wife. She's a rock star. So I just want to give her credit. I could imagine my ex-husband. I'm going to be having a speaker come on. Her ex-husband is a super famous dating coach guy that gives all this advice, but he was crazy cheating on her. So I'm going to have her on my podcast because that's a rough spot. But to be a quality woman and have to deal with that, the ex-spouse that's in the limelight. But I think Bezos' wife is a rock star. She has a published book. She's working on her second one, and she's a philanthropist. Like, it is her goal in life to give away half her money. But now she might be doing it in philanthropy. He's just spending it and having fun with it. So I can't blame either one of them. Again, when rich people spend money, we all win. So, and I'm sure some economist, some guy is going to leave a message in YouTube, be like, and he won't even have a face or a name on YouTube. But whatever, bro. Whatever. I'm sorry if that's not you. Like, you're going to go work harder, okay? But I want to say this about Bezos' ex-wife, that she remarried a teacher and they're now divorced. And I say this because women who have money need to find a financial equal. They need to know that they're going to meet a guy who has that same kind of money because it's a little hard. I mean, is Kris Jenner even dating anyone? Like, she needs to find a guy that makes as much money as her because that's crazy money. So it's really hard for a woman to kind of meet a guy when they're of that level. There's more men, but those men have options where a woman has way less options. And that's why when a woman comes to work with me and she has the finances to work with me, I can't guarantee I can't guarantee perfection. I can't guarantee a guy with a private jet because those guys have a lot more options. So, with that being said, I also want to say now I am talking about Lauren Sanchez. I do not know her. This is all my opinion. This is speculation. This is internet baloney that I'm reading. So I'm just throwing it out there. So don't get all cranky at me if you don't agree. Y'all can have your opinions. I'm cool with that. So, all right, well, let's get started. This podcast is going to be really great for these three kind of women. And now I know it's all of you out there, but number one, it's the woman who makes a lot of money. You're going to want to listen to this podcast because just because you make money doesn't mean another equally wealthy guy wants to date you. You got to get off that thing. You got to stop selling your money. And half of you have a lot of money because of your divorce, and it's not attractive to men with money. They're like, oh, great, she's going to take me for the money. And you don't want to spend it on your guy because, well, you want to spend it on you, and now he's spending all his money, but you got in a divorce. I'm just saying, all you ladies who are like telling me you're such a boss babe, you make so much money, you bought your first house, girl, I'm proud of you, but no man is excited to hear that all night long on a date or to continue hearing that. He's not looking for a competition. He is looking for a woman. And I'm going to give you those 5 things. That is what is going to help you snag that guy. Number 2, this podcast is also going to be good for a woman who is looking for a guy who is stable and settled. All right. And I say this because guys are going to be posting in my YouTube, oh, you just want rich guys. You women are lazy. No, we are not looking for wealthy men because we're lazy. As a matter of fact, the women who I know are just badasses. They're hardworking. They take good care of themselves. They have great kids. They're raising great kids. It's a priority. They have great friends and families. So it's not like we're these lazy girls asking for freebies. We can afford our own meals at this stage in life, right? Most of you are that woman. But what you are looking for and why you do need to listen to this is because you want the guy who's financially settled. He's not working, because maybe you were married to that. You were married to the guy who was never home, and you're like, babe, we have a family here. So that was hard. Even though you brought home the bacon, he just wasn't there. But you're looking for that settled man. You're also looking for a guy who has stability. I mean, there are men in their 50s, they still don't own a home. And it's not because they're divorced, it's because they've never invested. You're a female who's investing, you're wise about your money, and you know that his work ethic is sexy. Like, it is so amazing. And I don't know if you've ever done this, but you're dating a guy or you're with your husband and he's on a work call. And he's kind of the big dog. Like, he's moved his way, he's worked his way up that ladder, and now he's calling shots. And if you've ever been at a call where a guy's calling shots. I dated this guy. He's actually in a podcast. He's in the old guy, the rich guy, and the nice guy. Go listen to it. Podcast 32, I think. So he was actually the old guy, 20 years older than me. He was an investigative police officer, retired, and then he started working for companies that would track people who would burglarize banks. Can you believe it? People still burglarize banks, even with those thick windows and all these security cameras now. But he'd get on these calls after a burglary, and he's calling the shots, and he's telling what all the other people should be doing, and go search for this, and go look for that, and what happened here. And I'm telling you, it was attractive. So ladies, you know what I'm saying? How a man who is wealthy has that work ethic, or he had that work ethic, and you knew it, and you saw it, and ooh, it's nice. You also want a man who's wealthy, because his sophistication, he's got clout, he's got access to fun things. Like, he's got perks, okay? I mean, who doesn't love perks? My girlfriend the other day, she was at an event in Italy. She married a guy who owned an airplane company. And I'm like, don't we love a man with perks? Because a man who doesn't have them is kind of boring. But ladies, you also have to bring a different kind of perks, okay? And I'm going to talk about them coming up, the 5 things. So we want those kind of men, but here's the breakdown. And I want to share this with you because these were kind of the breakdowns in my life. Number 1, you can date any guy you want. You should have your standards list. I'm going to share this in a second. But you can date a teacher. I've dated a teacher. Great guy. But honestly, I didn't want to go camping for the rest of my life, and I didn't want to just have meals that he cooked for me at home. I love to dress up. I love to go out. I love fancy things. I have an eye for detail, and I'm sorry, I am who I am. And you like what you like. So even though I dated the teacher and he's a great guy, he wasn't a right fit for me or the lifestyle that I knew I fit into and that I was a part of. And then there's guys, I dated the guys with the massive beach houses and multiple houses and private jets, and they were shady. And I was like, you have way too much money, way too much time, and I don't trust you because you're not trustworthy. And that wasn't fun to date either. So, ladies, I'm going to tell you, and I do think, I will say this, I do think Bezos has a lot of money and he gets approached by a lot of women, and guys with a lot of money do stupid SHI, you know what, because they can. So you don't want them to have that much money. You want them to have enough that they're generous with you and they're working hard and they're storing it away. It's not so much that they are Mr. Charming Pants. Because remember, if he was charming with you, he'll be charming with another woman. I just had a walkthrough with my female coach on a coaching call, one of my female clients. She loves the Charming Pants guys, but they're total douchebags because they're charming to everybody. So be very mindful of that, ladies. That is not the guy. You want the guy who's working hard still, has just enough to make your life fun together. He is not flamboyant. He is not looking for eyes on him because he's going to get it. And it's not going to be only from you. So, ladies, you need to first define what does rich mean to you. What does it mean? I mean, maybe you're fine with a teacher salary. That's good. Maybe you're a teacher and you're like, yeah, I love camping. Like, I'm not looking for Ritz-Carlton, Katy. Good. You define that in your life. And here's why I say that. I brought this up in another podcast. I was talking with another dating coach. She works typically with men. She's great. And she started dating a guy. And when they started to plan the first travel trip, he became weird. Okay. They become weird because they have no money or they have another woman. And so when it came down to the finances, he just wasn't really fessing up. And she said, but Katy, I thought he had a lot of money. He seems wealthy, whatever wording she used. And I said, well, what does he do for a living? And she said, well, he's a nurse. Okay. I mean, nurses can make a lot of money. They bust their buns, praise the Lord, to nurses because they do things I would not want to do in these long shifts. But that's not C-suite executive money. That's not stay at the Ritz-Carlton for a week money. So if you're okay with that, but he's obviously not being able to pay for a vacation, or maybe it's a little too early for him, but either way, like, is that really money to you? Like, what is money to you? What does rich look like to you? Okay. The second question you have to ask yourself, when you do meet that rich guy, you are going to have to compromise on something. Now, first off, you should have your standards list, and that compromise should not be from that standards list. But I'm telling you, I've dated wealthy men. There's always something that's like, this doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with me. Now, there are some things in my rule of 80-20, 80% you should like about the guy, 20% is changeable or is not changeable. Well, maybe it's one of those things like he's not really close with his kids. Well, maybe you can help him be close with his kids, but everything about him is great. Okay, then that's like a green light. If it is, he's 80% fun and we have a great time, but in that 20%, he's not a good communicator, he probably won't be better. If he's 60, I dated a guy who was 60. His way of communication was literally telling me every response was 3 emojis. Because if you hit the 4th emoji in a response, they all get shrink down. So he'd always do 1, 2, 3. And it was like, bro, could you give me some verbal, like texting rather than just an emoji? He was 60. He probably wasn't going to change. And here's the deal. He has so much money. He's not going to change for me. He's going to find another woman. All right. Lastly, and again, I've said this, just because you want a rich man, I want to tell you, ladies, doesn't mean you're a gold digger. Does not mean it. Go listen to that podcast, guys. If you think, well, every girl who wants a rich guy is a gold digger, no. You can go listen to my podcast. I think it's like 69, something like that. All right. I'm going to share with you, and I talked with some of the other matchmakers to make this list, what are our high net worth clients looking for? Let me tell you, we have owners of football teams. We have self-made multimillionaires. We have famous baseball players. We have guys who you wouldn't even know are wealthy, crazy wealthy, that own tons of land. So you just never know. But these are the typical things that they're looking for. And I'm going to just be straightforward. The number one thing, you got to be hot. And let me just say this, hot looks different to every guy. I have a client in his first match. He's still with her. She is a Midwestern girl. She doesn't wear a lot of makeup. She has zero Botox in her face. She's in her early 50s. She has big curly hair that drives her insane. She blows out. Like she's got a lot of dates with a lot of clients, and guys love her. It's not that set apart, perfect girl, but guys love her. And I'm going to give you more reasons, and she's part of those reasons. And I'm going to say Lauren Sanchez is hot. Okay. She takes good care of herself. She has got a beautiful skin. She looks healthy. Is she perfect? No. I just told you I saw cellulite, like some chunky cellulite on the back of her thighs. Does he care? No, he doesn't care, ladies. Okay. So they probably got the lights on. We're going to talk about that, like some other stuff, why we think they're together. But you have to understand that you've got to have a hotness to you. And being hot also means you're kind. Like I have a great course. It's called 7 Steps to Sexy. It is my front beat, a fabulous story. It's about what I call the glow up. You've got to have a glow up in your life. If you are still the frumpy mumpy, men with money, I mean, they'll stay together with their wives, because they're called to do that. That is the right thing to do. But I know a lot of men, they're moving forward, they're making the money, they're hustling, and their wives want to stay regular. I dated a guy, he said his wife wouldn't wear the new diamond ring he bought her. He was very proud of his work, bought her beautiful, much bigger diamond ring, and she wouldn't wear it because she didn't want her friends to be jealous of her. Because her friends were from the decades before when they lived in the regular community, and he was ready to move up. He wanted a bigger house. And now I don't know how their marriage was and all that. Obviously, it wasn't great, but he wanted to enjoy it. He wanted her to enjoy it with him. And he wanted to move up in the echelons, and he needed her to stay fit, stay good looking. I know another couple, he's in great shape. His ex-wife, she's overweight. She does not look great. She does not look healthy. She did not value what he valued. And I had my pastor Keith on a couple weeks ago. Go check it out, podcast 106 and 7. And he literally says you got to value what they value, right? If it matters to them, it should matter to you. And health and wellness, if it matters to a guy, it's got to matter to you, ladies. So do what you got to do. Upgrade your wardrobe. I think Sanchez could upgrade a little bit more. She picks some things that are a little on the basic, regular hoochie side, but hey, you do you, girl. And you have to have a sexy thing to you. Like, are you sexy banter? Or do you dress a little sexy if and when needed? Now, not always. There's so many classy women that are just, ooh, they're sexy in their own right. So do your glow up is number 2. You got to get hot. So in that, those two kind of come together. And then number 3, men love a woman who is light and breezy. And my girlfriend Marnie says it all the time. And even in my marriage, I have to think, am I being light and breezy? Or am I like being a little bit heavy for my husband? My husband makes good money. He works very hard to do that. He employs lots of people. But if I'm an added on stress, it's not a win in our relationship. So ladies, get yourself together. Get your emotions under control. Pick and choose your fights. I am learning that in marriage. It's so important. You got to be fun. This naggy wife thing, this naggy girlfriend thing, it doesn't win with these guys because they are so deep into their business. And even if they have the finances and they're retired, they want to go do life and enjoy. I got these clients in their 70s. They make a ton of money. $15 million houses here, their own planes. And these women won't give up their lives. They won't let go. So not only do you need to be light and breezy, you need to release and make space for these guys. Like they've already put in the hard work. Are you going to give space for them? That is a huge one. No whiny girls who are open and available. I just had a client finish a stunning house in Park City, and he said his girlfriend, who I don't approve of, I didn't set them up, by the way. That's why he's coming back to me. He said, Katy, she doesn't want my kids to come meet me at my brand new house. She doesn't like them. Why would you be dating her? Don't be that girl, ladies. Don't be that girl. Like, that's his issue with his kids. Just enjoy him, enjoy your time together. If you don't like his kids, bail out and say you got to go see yours or something like that. But you've got to be light and breezy. It's so important. Here's the next one. Be interesting. So many of you are beautiful, but you're boring. I have had beautiful women in the database. I get on a phone call and I am like, she was so flat. Flat. That's what I call them. Flat. There's no injection in their voice. They don't sound peppy. They're not excitable. And they're just kind of boring. And then when I ask about passions in their life, what do they love? What are they a part of? What do they volunteer with? There's nothing. They work, or it's about their kids, or they hit tennis and drink champagne. You've got to be interesting. These guys are smart and they want to bring someone to the party who can dress up and look fabulous and stunning. Okay. And she's going to be, other guys are going to be like, wow, she's not just pretty, she's smart as well. I mean, we have a matchmaker on our team who is recruited by the FBI. I think she's Mensa and she's beautiful. So, ladies, upgrade yourself. I've talked about this before. You should know a little bit about everything. Okay? Be able to talk to everyone about anything. And if you don't know guy talk, get to know a little bit of guy talk. Know a little bit about cars. Know a little bit about golfing. Know a little bit about liquors. I mean, wine. Whatever it is. If your man is into those things, learn. Ask him so you can kind of keep in those conversations. Super important. I know I have a client right now, and he wants beautiful and smart. He's very smart and he's a venture capitalist. And he's like, I go to lots of parties. She's got to be able to roll with me. So make sure. And if you're not that smart, look, I'm a street smart girl, but I got passions. And a woman who has passions, if you're passionate about making the best chocolate chip cookie, if you're passionate about whatever it is, like that is so attractive to a man like that. So, you got to be a badass in your own right. And it looks like Sanchez, I mean, at age 40, she was learning how to fly a helicopter, which is what got her to meet Bezos. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So that was pretty impressive. She was a mom with 3 kids, 2 baby daddies, and she's like, I'm going to go learn how to do a helicopter. She says she loves it. I've read a few things online. That is kind of sexy. So ladies, what is it about you that makes you different? If you take my course, 7 Steps to Sexy, I make you define that so that you can really make sure you sell it on your dates. All right, here's the last one. You need to support him and his dreams still. Like, are you a good cheerleader? Ladies, I mean, no matter what age he is, I got men in their 70s that are looking for women who will do things, go scuba diving with them, will support them. Again, if he builds a brand new house, he wants his woman to be able to be cool with his kids coming over. And I read this too, that their relationship, this is about Bezos and Sanchez, and that their relationship developed further with Bezos reportedly seeking her help with his fear of flying. Now, I don't know if that's true. He probably made that up. But here she is, badass helicopter pilot, and she helped him. Ladies, men want you to support them, encourage them, be their biggest cheerleaders. So that is huge in dating. If you're going to snag a great guy who has worked hard to make a great income and he wants to enjoy life, you have to be enjoyable. All right, well, here's a couple things that I wanted to finish off with what our clients do not like. And Lauren, I gotta tell you, the big lips and the big fake boobs, no, they are 10 years ago. Most of our clients, probably 99% of them, do not like that. So if you were that girl with the big lips, get them squeezed out of you. Do whatever you got to do. If you have those giant fake boobs, maybe switch them out. Not attractive. They do not like that look. They like the most natural look that you can get, but still improving yourself. Like, you guys know me, I'm not gatekeeping. I do all that stuff. I take good care of my skin. I do a little bit of ads every once in a while. I'm thin, so my face gets real wrinkly. I was an athlete all high school and college. I do not have great skin. My family line was not great looking. So I'm not going down without a fight, and you shouldn't either. And by the way, our men, if there's a man still listening to this at this point, please take care of yourself as well. There are things you can be fixing. Some of you, your skin is terrible. You need to fix that. Some of you got the gobbler under your neck. Just get it tucked. Get that thing tucked. A little bit of Botox in your lines, guys. It'll take 5 years off you. Okay. So you look young and so does she. We all, am I right, ladies? Yes. All right. So our clients don't like that. And Lauren, you gotta get rid of it. Here's the other thing. They don't like it when a woman's not classy. And I think there's that edge line. Of course, you want a lady on the street, but a freak in the sheets. But I think Lauren Sanchez can pull a little like tacky. Okay, I think some of her outfits look a little cheap. I think, what she wore to the White House, hideous. That's my opinion. But, she is who she is. She tries to pull that overly sexy look. Most of our clients, if not all, do not like that. And here's the last one. Do not be a drunk. A lot of you women, you think it's cute. It's not. Overly drinking is not cute. Champagning during the day with your girlfriends is not attractive to our clients. Most of our clients either don't drink, and that's just for choice, for health-wise, because they want to enjoy their money and live long, and they want to be astute. They do not want to be under any influence. They're always making decisions. They're, using expensive equipment, driving Ferraris, going in aircraft, planes, that they know that this is on them. The onus is on them to stay healthy, stay alert, and stay acute. So they're not big drinkers. So they're not looking for that girl who's like, party girl. Not a big thing for our clients. Well, lastly, I asked all of my followers, and if you're not following, go check it out, Dating with Katy, what you thought. Like, why do you think she got the guy? And two very good, funny comments was that she's an accomplished astronaut. We're not going to go there. And then she added him to her Amazon cart and checked out using Prime. That was cute. I like that answer. But this is, somebody has the intel that Lauren Sanchez was actually, she got her license and then she started owning a company with helicopters. And then she showed up in the helicopter facility when Jeff was coming over. They were both married, supposedly. They met each other to party married, and then they got divorced. I'm not sure on the details, but that's for TMZ to figure out. So, but I can say this is that she planted herself in the right place at the right time to meet the right person. And ladies, you got to show up where these guys are. These guys are golfing. They are not playing pickleball. They're probably golfing. They're playing tennis. They're at conventions. They are at the Ritz-Carlton for different things. Like, I'm just saying, you've got to show up. I know my church has a ton of great guys that are, very successful. So think about where these men are and show up. And then a lot of you said this as well, that she's smart, sense of humor, she's fun, she's adventurous. The matchmakers all agreed with that. But I think the biggest answer everybody said was that she is DTF. She probably gives crazy sex. She's kinky. And then my neighbor even wrote she's a hoe. But I think that was in jest and all in good humor. And I think at the end of the day, ladies, a man who is successful is going to look for a woman who enjoys sex. So, I'm all for having it. You guys know my story. I stopped having it and only started again once I was married. But even in marriage, you have to enjoy having sex with your partner, with your husband. So I can just say this is I'm guessing on all of this. I think she's a rock star. She's beautiful. And I could say this, if I got to be her friend, I'd probably dig her. She's probably a blast. She's probably fun. She's always smiling. And those are the kind of people I want to hang out with, and the women I want to learn from. Well, I hope today was helpful. Send it to a girlfriend. Like, let's all get smarter about this, right? Dating is not easy these days. Get in my database. I have amazing clients. And if you're amazing, then I need to know you. So make sure you do that. Ladies, I've got coaching for you to make sure you are picking the right guy. And guys, I have more women than you'll ever swipe on. So thanks for listening to A Matchmaker's Guide to Love and Life. And until next time, happy dating.